Hey guys, what's up? It's Ray, and welcome to this new video. This video is another episode of my 10 Questions 2 series, and today we have the guest Omar, also known as Castle Wars. You can introduce yourself a bit.
Hello, my name is Omar. My YouTube name is Omustardo, and my in-game name is Castle Wars. It used to be Omustardo as well. And I'm a moderately long-term RS player. I started in early 2005, and I do a bunch of completionist style gameplay content. And yeah, that's pretty much me.
Alright, thanks for Omar for being this guest. If you would like to see more of Omar in this video, if you didn't know him already, you can find his link to his channel in the description and probably somewhere on the screen as well. But as for now, we're going to start the 10 questions. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Alright.
Mm.
Question number 1. How would you describe your channel?
My channel recently has been a lot of updates and talking about different things that Jagex has been changing. Overall, I'd say it's pretty random. I do all sorts of videos, little guides. Um, I do a lot of live streaming now, actually. Probably twice a week I'll be doing a live stream, and so that's a big part of my channel now. But in general, it's just sort of random stuff.
Alright. Um, well, live stream is also a good thing, I guess.
Yeah.
For question...
Although,
sorry, go for it.
well, sorry, I was thinking I should probably say that I actually don't really do all that much PvP, so uh, a bit random, but yeah, not much PvP and not a whole lot of PVM really. Just all little random stuff.
Right, well, you're
I
saying
don't
that
know.
you do a lot of on the updates that Jack's been giving recently. What about before? What were you known of?
I did a bunch of fight cave stuff around when I started making YouTube videos. That was before I got well known on YouTube, though, so I'm not sure if that counts.
I say it
Yeah,
does.
I don't know. I did a lot of little guides, some about completionist content, and other just about random things like chompy hunting guides, all sorts of little stuff.
All right. Nice for question number 2. How did you obtain the name Castle Wars? Because it's kind of an original name. Were
Mhm.
you actually the first one to get it, or did you buy it, or did you just randomly stumble across it?
Well, I have a bunch of names that I wanted to get on my ignore list, and when names are freed up by Jagex, they just turn into a string of numbers, I believe. And I was lucky enough to be, I suppose, the first person to see that the name Castors had been freed up, and so I just logged out, switched my name to that, and that was that. I didn't buy it, though. It was around when Jagex was freeing up a bunch of account names, so I suppose that someone had just taken the name Castors on a placeholder account, just level 3, and so when they freed up the name, I was lucky enough to get it.
All right. And do you ever think about changing your name? I mean, if something that frees up, let's say Fight Kiln or any other minigame skill or whatever, would you pick that name or would you stick to Castle Wars?
I'd probably just stick with Castors. I can't really think of any other minigame that I'd rather have myself named after.
All right. Now, as for staying with Castle Wars, what were you thinking getting the trimmed completionist cape, of course, for the 5,000 Castle Wars games? And also, there's a rumor that the requirements for this trimmed completionist cape were actually gotten from your account. Is that true?
Well, okay, I'll talk about the history of it first. So, when they were thinking about making the all the different types of completionist capes, and that was, I believe, what was the update called? I can't remember what they titled the
Capes
entire
of
update, but
distinction, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, that's it. When they were making those, MoneyK1lls made a post in the high level forum asking for suggestions for an Uber cape, and I put a list of things that I thought would be good, which included the 5K Cast Wars games and a lot of other completionist content, which I suppose most of it was originally from a thread made by Lizifer, which had a big list of all types of completionist content, and that list pretty much became the trim and normal comp cape requirements. So I mean, I did suggest the requirements, but it wasn't really my list, and it was just completionist content. So it was just the content that was in RS. It wasn't particularly my idea. It was just the completionist content that was already there. Um, and yeah, so that's pretty much how it came about. I actually have a video talking about it, which I can give you the link for, and maybe you could put it in the description if people want to take a look at that.
I
I
definitely will,
took
yeah.
a I took a screenshot of the entire thread. It's like 50 pages with MoneyK1lls responses and feedback and stuff. It was really good. It's nice to get feedback like that. Um, and then the other part of the question, I believe, was what was I thinking when I got the cape? Or
Like, what the
um,
hell were you thinking? Like, how would you get... I mean, probably you already had the 5,000 Castle Wars game, or
I did. Yeah, I
All
had all
right.
of the requirements when it came out, except for I was missing the Goblin Priest burial and one part of the Clarence burial. I don't know how I missed those. I thought I had done them. I think I must have just like read a Wikipedia article, and then when I was thinking back to it, I just remembered the article and not actually doing it. Um, but yeah, when I was getting the requirements, I was just doing completionist content. I wanted to do it rather than getting all 200 mils or the things that a lot of other people were going for. I just didn't really want to be that competitive, and I wanted to just do a bunch of random stuff. Um, so it really wasn't too bad. I mean, it's probably more interesting than getting 200 mils.
Yeah, I would say that I would really not get
Yeah.
200 mil, but to be honest, I would also not get 5,000 Cast Wars games. But did you really enjoy Cast Wars that much that you did 5,000 games?
Well, I did AFK a large part of them. The first 5,000, I don't think I AFK'd the majority of them, but since then I have AFK'd most of them. Well, almost all of them, yeah.
Why would you AFK Cast Wars games? I mean, you don't need it for trim completionist requirements anymore.
No,
Just for the tickets, or?
uh, just as something to do. I mean, they do have the Cast Wars high scores, but I was AFKing it before they had those. It's just something to do to get tickets and games, and uh, like while I'm doing homework or watching videos and things, it's nice to do.
All right. Um,
Yeah.
let's get back to the history. So, in theory, you kind of made the list or written down the list of the requirements for the trim completion escape and the trim or the normal completion escape.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I got the thread or the list pretty much from Lizifer's thread, so it wasn't quite mine, but um, yeah. I mean, I was the one who posted on the feedback thread, so I suppose you could say that I was the one who suggested it. I don't know. It's just semantics and syntax. It's
All right. So,
yeah.
so you're the reason that about thousands of people put bullets through their heads because they have to do 5,000 Cast Wars games.
Pretty much.
All
Although
right, guys,
I don't know,
here's
you
your.
might. I'd say that Mod Tim shares some of the blame on that one for putting in the 5K cape. Although it's not like he expected a completionist cape to come out. If he were to redo it, I highly doubt he would have made it 5K games.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is kind of a long stretch, don't you think?
yeah. I mean, it's just sort of how it had to be by making the 5K games cape, and then by making a cape that requires completionist content, you have to do 5K games. So
Yeah.
I mean, the 5K games cape is great for people who actually do a lot of Castle Wars, but it's not so nice just as an overall completionist thing, I'd say.
No, I guess yeah. Well, if it was for normal completion escape, I think not many people would have that.
No,
But
no, probably not.
were you actually the first one to get the trim completion escape, or?
Yeah, I got it on the day it came out, and the second person to get it was NG Mintech, who got it slightly under 3 months later.
All right, so you're pretty much well, in theory, you're pretty much the first people or the first person to actually complete the game.
Depending on how you define it. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. In completion escape content, not for 200 mil skills, but as for that, you have completed the game in that sense.
In terms of, yeah, completionist content, sure.
All right. Okay, good to know there. Question 4. A lot of people are negative about the evolution of combat. How do you think about those people, and how do you think about the evolution of combat itself?
I'm I have a lot of faith in the JMods who are working on it. In particular, MoneyK1lls, I believe, always does good content. I can't really think of any bad content that he's released, and I'm sure that they're going to keep working on it until until it's good. I mean, it's still in the beta now, and we haven't had any set release date. I would not expect it to come out before the end of this year, so they have a good bit of time to continue working on it. I mean, even today they took the feedback for the multi-combat wilderness, and now you have the option to do single combat anywhere in the wilderness. So they're looking at feedback, and I'm expecting it to get a lot better before it comes out. And also, if people are completely against it, they should really test it out and give feedback on what exactly they're against, because it's obviously not entirely bad. There are some aspects which could definitely use improvement, though.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. Well,
mhm.
I had this interview with Darden as well, and what he basically said was that the most people that are negative didn't actually try the beta out themselves. They just assumed it was bad because of what some of the YouTubers said. Um, so I don't know
Mhm.
what your thought about that is.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. There are a bunch of people who just don't like it at all. I don't know. It does change a lot, and it has changed since it came out. So even if people didn't like it when it came out, they might be more into it now. So yeah, really just test it out and see how it is for you. It's the best way to do it.
All right.
Not to mention, if you get a head start now, when it actually comes out, you'll be able to go destroy people in the wilderness and stuff. So,
Oh yeah, that would
yeah.
be epic. Probably when it comes up, because I have to be honest, I didn't try it out myself. I don't have enough time to do that. But I haven't tried it out myself. Probably once it actually comes out, once the evolution of combat is actually in the game, I'll probably get destroyed by every boss. Probably I won't be able to hit a level 2 goblin. I'll probably die there. For some reason, I don't know how I do it. I just suck at everything I don't know about. So, um, yeah, the people that have actually tried it out will probably have a head start, and PvP is already
Mhm.
not a great thing for me. So in the evolution of combat, gonna be absolutely horrible. So yeah. All right. Question number 5. How is RuneScape different from how it was from you started? And what is the biggest change?
I'm not exactly sure what high levels were like when I started because I didn't really know any, but it feels like it's just gotten to be an experience grind and people are all just looking for the most efficient methods. I don't know if that's just like a general thing in gaming nowadays or if that's just something specific to RS as it developed. But it does seem like way back when people would just be like doing Slayer and killing stuff and collecting drops and stuff for fun. And now it's all about experience or cash per hour and doing things as efficiently as possible, which is fine. I mean, it's a way of playing, but it is quite a bit different.
Yeah. Um, yeah,
Uh,
that's what I've experienced as well. People get more mad as well if their experience get fucked up, or oh my god, like, this was horrible. It's yeah, they get so mad if you fuck up a fire making line. Well, now they have bonfires, of course, but if you fuck up a fire
mhm,
making line, oh man, they get mad. If you put a fire between their fire making lines, it's funny, but they get so mad because that's different.
mhm.
But when did you start? What year did you start
I started in early 2005,
on this
so
account as well?
yeah, this account. I
Oh,
haven't used any others seriously.
all right. And how long have you been completionist or maxed out?
Maxed in September 2008, so quite a
Wow,
while now. Yeah.
maxed at 3 years. God. All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I couldn't do it. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Um, as for question number 6, is there anyone you look up to, or is there someone that is the reason that you started the whole YouTube thing?
Well, Zarfot was definitely one person I looked up to. It's unfortunate that he quit and took down all of his videos and things. I wish I'd like downloaded and saved some, but anyway, for in terms of the YouTube thing, I made my YouTube account probably because my brother had one and he was making videos. His YouTube name is PK Moderators. He was a pretty well-known PKer a while back, and so I made my YouTube account. I guess because of that, just to have one, and then I would make random videos here and then. Um, but I don't know. I didn't really have anyone specific in terms of YouTube that I was looking up to. I even now I don't really watch almost any YouTube videos at all, or well, not RS related ones. I watch like College Humor and The Onion and Just for Laughs and some others. But yeah, not
Okay.
too much with RS.
All right. Um, all right. That's for that question. There's not much to say about that. Question number 7. How do you think Jagex is reacting to the feedback that the players constantly give about the evolution of combat and, yeah, about the whole game, to be honest?
Well, with the evolution of combat, they've definitely been taking a lot of feedback and really working at it. You don't really see it with the rest of the game because there's already so much in place that's permanent and it's harder to change things. But with the evolution of combat, I think they're doing a really great idea. But they're doing quite a good job with updating it. But we already talked a bit about that, so I'll talk more about the rest of the game, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of any great examples of feedback that people have given that's resulted in big changes. Um, there are little tweaks here and there that they do, mostly like patch notes and things.
All right.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
But well, a lot of players have like good feedback. A lot of players are against the evolution of combat. As for like the whole evolution of combat, why do you think they don't like quit the whole project? I know there are a lot of people that they just don't try out the evolution of combat and just think like, well, haven't tried it out. Some YouTubers are negative. Let's just all be negative. But I know there are some people that just like the old school game. Why don't you think they make an RS2 and of course an RS3?
didn't sound like it. In some of the live streams, I don't know if you've seen those official Jagex streams,
Yeah.
it doesn't sound like they're going to be leaving a current copy of the game, which is sort of unfortunate. It would be a bit nice just to have to play around in now and then. Um, and yeah, I can see why a lot of people would like that, but I think evolution of combat, as they said, is sort of something that's needed. They need to rework combat a lot just because it's like it's sort of stuck. Like you've got your AGS that can pretty much one hit people, and I don't know, either you have really high defensive gears that then it's just missing or hitting, and you can still get one hit. You just have much higher defense. Um, I don't know. I think they need these abilities and things so that it's more strategy for combat.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for the evolution of combat itself. I mean, do you think they will lose a lot of players if the evolution of combat just came out like right now, just no talk,
Well,
just right
I
now?
mean, it's not really ready yet, so yeah, they would lose a ton of people. Um, I'm not sure if you saw the live stream where ModPie, I believe it was talking about a tutorial for the beta, but I think that would be really good because then people, like right now, you just get thrown in the beta and there's so much going on and so many changes that it's hard to really learn good strategies for doing combat. But if they have a tutorial, I think it'll make it a lot better to get people into it. Um, yeah, although yeah, it's true. They just threw in the beta now. A lot of people would quit.
All right. Well,
Hmm.
hopefully it will turn out as good as you say it will, or as you think it will, and hopefully as good as
As I'm
they.
hoping it will,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's gonna be a bitch if they
Pretty
lost
much,
like
yeah.
60% of the players. I know they will probably grow back. I mean, probably a lot of players will also start playing the game because they like the evolution of combat, and of course the combat that we have right now is for new players is kind of outdated. If a new player tries out this game,
Mhm.
especially in the time of 2012, yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna seem kind of old. But yeah,
I am interested in seeing how well it attracts new players because I mean ours seems to have been on decline as far as I can tell. Although maybe I'm just looking at the wrong places, but it seems to be like tons of bots and then tons of high levels and not all that many lower levels. So yeah, we they do really need to get a bunch of new players.
yeah.
And yeah, hopefully Evolution of Combat will help with that, but we'll see.
Yeah, of course, people have been being able to practice right now with the game. As you think of actual skill in the game. I mean, things like soul split flicking and the actual, having your potion set up, drinking. I mean, it sounds kind of weird right now, but people have been used to how the game works right now. And I think it's cool
Hmm.
that people have to learn a whole new technique of combat, and so everyone will be a noob again, and everyone there won't be those people with years and years of experience who just like. Yeah, are so good at the game. So everyone is a noob again. Every new player has the same chance because as a new player, you are thrown in the game right now, yeah, you don't really have a chance, do you?
Hmm. Yeah, not too much really.
Yeah,
I mean, it depends what you like doing in game, but yeah, it's a
yeah.
bit of a disadvantage.
All right. Up for question 8. What are your thoughts on the Squid of Fortune and the Solomon Store?
Well, my main problem with them is that they're just spammed everywhere, and like every update, there's a Solomon or Squeal update that like covers it up. But I don't mind Jagex making money. I don't really support Squeal of Fortune or Solomon Store at all. Like I don't buy spins or anything. They do have some cool stuff in there that is somewhat tempting, but yeah, I don't plan on buying any of it. And as long as they keep it from actually affecting the game, I don't really care too much. Well, as long as they actually add in items normally as well. I mean, they did rework all that gear in the beta, so it does look good, and it's not just all this solid stuff that looks good and then just really crappy looking everything else. Um, but yeah, as long as they keep it to being just cosmetic, I don't really care too much.
All right. Question number 9. Is there something you could say to a beginner YouTuber right now, if it would start right now?
My main tips are generally don't expect to get big overnight. It takes a really long time to get well known. I mean, once you get a decent subscriber base, then you should start gaining subscribers pretty regularly. But until then, I mean, until you get like at least a couple thousand subscribers, it's quite slow. And you'll be making a lot of videos and not getting many views on them really, which is a bit depressing. Um, but yeah, just keep at it. It builds up eventually as long as you're making decent content.
All right. As for the last question, as for now, Omar knew what the questions were going to be, just to make sure there was nothing too personal or something that he just didn't want to answer. As for the last question, he doesn't know yet. So, are you ready for it?
Yes.
All right. If there are three things that you could add, remove, or change in RuneScape, what three things would those be?
Okay, three things to add, remove, or change. One that I keep mentioning in live streams and things that I'd like to add is a sort of high-level pest control type thing. So imagine like you go into the fight kiln, but you have a bunch of people in there with you, and you fight waves of high-level monsters. I mean, I guess it would be sort of a mix between dungeoneering, fight kiln, and pest control. So you've got a small team doing a wave by wave event, just fighting through waves. I think that would be a lot of fun. Um, yeah, it's just some high level content. I have no idea what the rewards would be, but I'm sure they could get some nice, cool stuff. Um, I don't really know about the other ones though. Let's see. I mean, if it didn't affect uh, Jagex's earnings, I'd say Squeal of Fortune Solomon Store should be taken out, but that's not going to happen.
Well, you never know.
Yeah, well,
With
I
Jagex
think
changing
it's
his mind,
unlikely to
like,
happen.
yeah, alright, but let's be honest, with Jagex changing his mind like every 2 days, it's, uh,
Yeah,
there's still a chance.
yeah, they do go back on what they say sometimes. I'm still waiting for that bot watch to come out, definitely before the end of September. Dot dot
Mm,
dot.
yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't really know what else though. Only having three options to add or remove things is difficult.
Yeah.
You'd have to think in depth a bit about that. Yeah.
Let me think. If there's something that you stumble across every day that that just annoys you, think about that.
Uh, hmm. I don't. I mean, a lot of what I do now is just AFK passwords and make videos and live stream. I don't have a whole lot of time now that I'm in school to play regularly. So daily stuff is difficult. Um, hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing really comes to mind.
All right. Well,
I mean, get rid of bots.
all right. That's a good one. All right.
Yeah.
No one's
Yeah,
ever
I guess
thought of
that
that.
counts.
No, it's fine. All right, but we have the high-level pest control. Maybe that's an idea that Jackers can just work on. I know there are some people that really like the idea of like a multi-combat or something that you can do, or not like a multi-combat, but like a fight kill, but you can do with friends, so not just instance, but you can do with friends. I get your idea, and that like not instance fight killing can be mixed and can be thrown in some somewhere with a new minigame with some new rewards, maybe some higher level void, or what kind of reward would you think? Like
Uh,
experience or?
I don't really know. I mean, experience is always good, but I feel like if it's a PVM type thing, like like Fight Kiln would be, that it would be better to have some sort of cash reward. And that way you could also do it with like a set cash reward, and that way the smaller your team is, the more money you'll make if you can manage to do it with a small team. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, it would have to be worked through a bit. I mean, there'd have to be a max number of players and a minimum number. Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could set no minimum and then just see who could get the furthest. That would be sort of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. There are a lot of different options that you could do.
All right.
Mhm.
Well, Omar, thanks for
Oh, well,
answering my
oh,
questions.
sorry. One other thing that I was thinking of it
Oh,
of for that thing would be like if someone in the team dies, then they come back as part of the enemies. So if you like die in the fight kill and you get like sucked into the lava and you become like a lava themed guy, sort of like the elementals from the combat beta, and you can only do like certain attacks.
all right.
I
Just
don't know,
like
just
like,
like random ideas.
yeah, are you actually playing that character? Or is it just like an extra enemy for your team, or actually are you actually
No,
fighting your team?
you'd be like playing against the other people on your team. So if you die, then you go onto the monster side and you try and kill your teammates.
Why would you do that?
I
That
don't
would be
know.
your reward taken off.
Well, I mean, if you die, then you wouldn't be getting any reward, and maybe there would be some reward. I don't know. Just random ideas.
Yeah.
I haven't really thought through it too much.
Well, maybe Jack is listening and maybe he thinks like, "Oh my God, what an idea, Omar, you're great." Right,
Oh
so
yeah.
that will probably happen. Anyway, it was a good idea, and yeah, removing bots that will probably happen somewhere in 2012 or 13 or maybe 14. Right, maybe. So, Omar, thank you for answering my 10 questions. Yeah, is there anything you would like to say?
Nothing comes to mind. Just yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please let me know in the comments below. Also, if you really liked Omar and you didn't know him yet, make sure to check out his channel. The link will be in the description below and probably somewhere on the screen as well. And that video you said about the completionist or the trim completionist cable list,
Hmm.
I'll put that link in the description as well so people can watch that.
Okay, yeah, great.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed. Uh, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.
Bye bye.